Hey, Shalom Akim, of course, call Haloyim, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakal Kudash, double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule and teach as well. Peace, Shalom to the elect. All right, which consists of the men, women, and children selected to make it out of here from the coming nuclear destruction. All right, I'm the brother Zayan Allah of the DC camp coming at you with another video. You so-called black people, okay? You so-called black people, which the biblical nationality are the Israelites. All right, you so-called Negroes, okay? You're gonna understand that the Latinos and the Native Americans are your people. You're the same people. Now, this isn't the video right here. It's actually the video up. But these little quick, stupid little videos, they start the moment you click on them. You try to you can't really go back. It has to play the whole video and then it starts over. So that's why I have it on this video right here. But you'll see in a second, man. At the end of the day, you so-called Negroes, okay? That's what you are. You're so-called Negroes, all right? You're gonna understand that, the Latinos and Native Americans are your brethren, all right, one way or another, all right. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play the video. You see? All right, now, of course, you can stop it up here, but, the moment you click on it, it immediately starts playing. I wanted to start it from the beginning. Now, you see the video says, when your ghetto sister comes home, shorts, all right? When your ghetto sister comes home, and notice what they look like, okay? They look like northern tribes, okay? Now, they could be mixed, so to speak, because you have a lot of Southern Kingdom that look like this when their fathers, Jake, all right, and their mothers, Esau, or so on and so forth, all right. But right now, they look like northern tribes. Let me go ahead and continue. Corny, goofy shit.
What is this?
Me and my sis got thick.
And really, you can see, really, you can tell that they're Israelites through the curse, because even though this is a skit, all right, this is really, how our women act. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's really through the curses. That's another way you can see who's your people. As a matter of fact, all right, Deuteronomy 28, all right. If you go to Deuteronomy 28 and you start at 15 on down, you can see that the curses apply to these people. All right. Now let me see. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30. All right, this also goes with the fact that our women will be adulterers, or will play the adulteress or the whore. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Now, of course, you're going to have that during slavery. You have a wife, and then another man shall lie with her. That happened during slavery as well. Okay, all right, but guess what? Even here in Babylon, you have a wife, and then all of a sudden another man lies with her. Okay, showing you that here in Babylon is ultimately a house of bondage as well, because that act should not be so. Okay, the thing that she have done is slept with another man shouldn't have happened. If we were in our righteous rulership, none of this would ever happen. You see, and a lot of our women play the whore in this place. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Why? Because she be out in the streets hoeing and being with other men. All right. And that's what you see this activity right here, that whorish activity, even though it's a skit. All right. The old saying is what? Art imitates life. All right. You have that, and then you have let me see. All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 37. And thou shalt become what? An astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And this is a definition of what? Just that. You can see that. All right. These are hoes, these are sluts, they get BBLs, or, the whores, stuff like that. That's a astonishment, that's a byword. Okay. Because our people shouldn't be acting like this, even though it's a skit. Like the old saying is, what? Art imitates life. All right. Let me go back to Deuteronomy 28. As a matter of fact, we go up Deuteronomy 28:28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Madness. This type of act is madness. All right, let me go ahead and play the rest of the video.
Hat real thick. Dr. Miami thick.
Because it's madness for a lot of these women getting BBLs and getting these implants and stuff like that. It's madness to change your physical anatomy with surgery. Number one, the scripture says we're not supposed to make any cuttings in our flesh. And a lot of our women are doing that. They're actually going to these doctors and they're getting these BBLs. You see that? They think that's making their body thick, like they say. And really, you're cutting into your body. You're putting poison into your body. There's been complications. A lot of women that got BBLs and stuff like that. Okay. Okay. Now, the purpose of the video, once again, is not for that stupid shit. It's this right here. Okay. All right. That's exactly all right. Look, here it is. Hispanic son of a black king. See that? Let me click on this cat's video. On his page, son of a black king. Okay. Of course, he doesn't have any content. He's just a regular YouTuber. All right. Son of a black king. All this black shit. All right. So let's go back to the comments. Son of a black king. Look, Hispanic women clowning black women in front of a black man. You see that bullshit? All right. And watch this. Exactly. I don't know who they're trying to be because I don't know anyone who acts like this. He's just a lost Sambo who's lost his identity. He looks zesty himself and they look foolish. Now, you're saying he lost his identity, but you're agreeing with a man who's calling somebody black. That's another reason why I got the scripture earlier. All right. Be it astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. You see that? Black right here. Black is not who you are. Show me one person on the planet who's actually black. All right. And then you know what they'll do? They'll grab an image of somebody super dark, like one of them suit knees, and say, see, it's a black person. And then when you actually examine the picture, you'll see that it's really, 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 really dark brown. You see that? There's nobody on the planet who's black, but you're calling yourselves black. And then you're saying that that person lost his identity, man. Man, our people are lost. At the end of the day, a lot of you black people, okay, all right, you're going to understand that the Latinos and Native Americans are the same people, man. Okay, a lot of you ain't been nowhere. A lot of these people that talk like this, they probably from Maryland, some around here where the DC Akim where we do camp, man. Because when you live in places like or travel to places like New York, New Jersey, PA, the Philly part of PA, Delaware, Texas, Florida, you'll see California, you'll see the mix of what Negroes and Latinos, and you see it's pretty much the same thing. All right, you look at some places they be calling you. You see so-called black man calling the so-called Latino Hispanic man nigga, back and forth. Yo, what's up, nigga? Like they don't say that to an Edomite. Why is it on their spirit to say that to each other? Okay, because deep down you're the same people. You see that? But this is somebody calling the dude a Sambo, but yet you're agreeing with somebody who's calling a black man. You see that? All right. For real, we do it to ourselves the most, yes, because you're under the curse, and a lot of our women are harlots, man. All right. We see. All right. See, then somebody said, are they not black? No, I know what this person's saying. I'm like, are they not the same people? They're the same people, but no, they're not the word black. All right. And I think one is mixed black. First of all, again, like I was saying, you may get some of the, looks like that, where somebody who's mixed like that will look Hispanic, but even then, nobody's black. You see? All right. All right. Now let me get the scriptures. All right. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. It says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, all right, the children of Yasher Allah and the children of Yahweh will oppress together." And that's what? That's the northern and southern kingdom. The children of Israel is the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom. And it says they were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. When you go into this, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Let's go into it. The word together. So the Hebrew is Yah, Cha, and Da. Yachad. Yachad. Okay? And what is it? Union. Unitedness. Together. All together. All together alike. Even in the Strong's definitions. Both. Likewise. See, we were oppressed together. Likewise, in the same manner. Let's see the word oppressed. The word there is a sha, and a qua. I shock. I shock. Okay? All right? Violent. Violent overthrow. Okay? Defrauded. Oppression. You see? Both kingdoms, all 12 tribes were oppressed in the same manner. You see? All right? That's another way you'll know who the Israelites are. All right? That we're the same people. Now you look at the commentary, and I believe this is it says commentary by, let me see, Matthew Henry, right? Jeremiah 50 and 33. It says, Israel's sufferings and their deliverance out of those sufferings. Yahweh takes notice of the bondage of his people in Babylon, as he did of their bondage in Egypt. He has surely seen it and has heard their cry. Israel and Judah were oppressed together. Those that remain of the captives of the 10 tribes upon the uniting of the kingdoms of Assyria and Chaldea seem to have come and mingled with those of the 2 tribes, which you had that as well. You had not all of the 10 tribes went to the New World. Okay, some of them were still, it was still remnants of them, what? With the Southern Kingdom, okay? And they were still under oppression, all right? But still, the 10 tribes, okay, that went to the New World, they were what? They too were oppressed. Let me see. It's the New York Times, right? Indian slavery once thrived in New Mexico. Latinos are finding family ties to it, okay? Okay, it says Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? Lenny Trujillo, okay, made a startling discovery when he began researching his descent from one of New Mexico's pioneering Hispanic families. One of his ancestors was a slave. You see that? Yes, because they went through hardcore slavery before the transatlantic slave trade happened. But yes, they went through hardcore slavery. Okay? And the one reason why they went through slavery as well, okay, is because they transgressed the laws. All the tribes transgressed the laws, and more specifically, we worshiped other gods. That all the time put us in slavery. Okay? And when you go to Baruch, the 4th chapter, all right, Baruch 4 in verse 5, be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. Who are enemies? All the other nations. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to Yahweh. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. You see that? And that was one of the main reasons why we got put in captivity every time. You hear the gripes and complaints from our forefather Ezra. When you go to Ezra, right? 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, Salakia, why I went back on that. 2nd Ezra 6 and verse, let me see, 2nd Ezra 6 in verse 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Okay. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing. And it's funny because they're being reputed as nothing. That was also mentioned in the book of Esther, the rest of the editions of Esther. Even she said that these heathen were what? Of nothing. You see that? And now, and it's funny because we're in that time of Purim now. We're actually in the Purim now. Okay? The feast days of the Purim. It says, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Why? Because guess what? We transgressed the laws of Yahweh Hashem Shai, and more importantly, because we sacrificed unto what? Those other gods. Okay, and every time we did that, slavery came. All right, you want to sacrifice unto them? Fine, be under them. Okay, but we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thine only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. You see that? If the world now be made for our sakes, Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? See that he was grieving for this. Like, man, we're put under people that are less than nothing. You see that? All right. We were put under people that are less than nothing. You see? And that's what happened here. Even in northern tribes were put under a people that are less than nothing. All right. The Edomite man. Okay. All right. Let me see. I didn't know about New Mexico slave trade, so I was just stunned, said Mr. Trujillo, 66, a retired postal worker who lives in Los Angeles. Then I discovered how slavery was a defining feature of my family's history. Okay. Mr. Trujillo is one of many Latinos who are finding ancestral connections to a flourishing slave trade on the blood soaked frontier now known as the American Southwest. Their captive forebears were Native Americans, slaves frequently known as Genizaros, pronounced Hinisaros, right, who were sold to Hispanic families when the region was under Spanish control from the 16th to 19th centuries. Many Indian slaves remained in bondage when Mexico and later the United States governed New Mexico. You see that? The revelations have prompted some painful personal reckonings over identity and heritage, but they have also fueled a larger politically charged debate on what it means to be Hispanic and Native American. Okay? All right? And you see, and really, it goes back even further than this. The 16th century is talking about the 1500s. Okay? I think it was a little bit of the 15th century. It started, and then into the 16th century, where a lot of the starting with Christopher Columbus, they came over and started what putting our brothers into slavery. Okay, because they went into hardcore slavery first. All right, let me see. All right, remember Henizaros, Heniz, he Henisaros, Henisaros. Okay, Henisaros. All right, slaves frequently known as Henisaros. All right, so these are slaves, right? So it says a growing number of Latinos who have made such discoveries are embracing their indigenous backgrounds, challenging a long tradition in New Mexico in which families prize Spanish ancestry. Some are starting to identify as Henisaros. Historians estimate that Henisaros, slaves, right, as we know, accounted for as much as one-third of New Mexico's population of 29,000 in the late 18th century. That's the 1700s. Okay. All right. It says, we're discovering things that complicate the hell out of our history, demanding that we reject the myths we've been taught, said Gregorio Gonzalez, 29, an anthropologist and self described Genizaro, who writes about the legacies of Indian enslavement. Those legacies were born of a torturous story of colonial conquest and forced assimilation. New Mexico, which had the largest number of sedentary Indians north of central Mexico, emerged as a coveted domain for slavers almost as soon as the Spanish began settling here in the 16th century. According to Andres Resendez, a historian who details the trade in his 2016 book, The Other Slavery, and Lord willing, I get a hold of that book. But it just gives you an overall that what the northern tribes were put in slavery too, just like the southern tribes, and they were oppressed together. You see, but yet you have people still, oh, those Hispanics, those Native Americans, they think they somebody else, and fuck them. No, they're your own people. Okay, they're your own people, and you have the nerve. You have these people that got the nerve to talk like this when niggas make fun of niggas. Niggas are a nigga's worst enemy. On top of that, how about your own people being niggas? Hispanic women clowning black women in front of the black men. What about the so-called black people, man? Killing each other and being demons. You see? At the end of the day, you're going to realize that these tribes are your brethren and that we're oppressed together. All right? Call Halon Yahal Bashmi Shai Bashir Chok As always, to the elect, a double shalom.